Good morning. Welcome to the Knitting Samurai and Her Guides video podcast. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai and Adore Knit Steph on Instagram and Ravelry. How are you today? I just want to take a quick second and say thank you so much for joining me. I know you have lots of choices. I've been checking out all the other choices and loving it and feeling so inspired by my knitting that I hope you do the same. Check everybody out, see all the projects, and just jump in. So it's really great. It's almost like a renaissance for my knitting right now because I can't knit fast enough, right? And this is what? A month now I've been like this. I feel like I'm not centered. Okay, so it's been about a month that I've been like this. Like I just want to knit all the things. So let's jump in. I've got my little notes here, my little pink notepad, and today's show is going to have a shop update, a finished object, some whips, and some chatter. So first up, let's go. I finished some socks and I needed my sock blockers. So I went in the closet and I pulled out my sock blockers, and lo and behold, there's some socks on them, which is great because I did a sock washing day this week because I was really mad. I didn't have any socks to wear and I really want to wear my hand knits because they're more toasty. What do I have on today? I have my partying up and getting downs on. Anyways, so I washed them up and then it took 2 days for the silly things to dry. Usually I put not usually, but sometimes I put them in the washing machine for the spin cycle. Spin and rinse, I think is what it's called. But I'm not super comfortable with doing that. And one of the pairs was Fair Isle, and it's already starting to look a little like it needs to be defuzzed because you're knitting looser on I was knitting on larger needles, and so the yarn is not as tight. So anyways, all that washing, and it just reminds me, I need to wash because I think I had 9 pairs to wash, 3 loads. And if next time when I have 3 dirty pairs, wash them, and then I can stay on top of it instead of having to go a couple days with no socks on, which was really rather annoying. I wore socks, but regular socks. Okay, so these are done. My Lux by Megan Williams. I just bit my lip, and so I'm a little worried about color, but yay! I was trying to get these done for St. Patrick's Day. I've already worn them once. And so this was the first one. You've seen it before. So last time I was at the Millennium Falcon and I buzzed on up and finished it. This was, I was super focused on this, and the heel is really baggy. I ended up with, I had a hard time with the instructions, and I couldn't remember because I had done this heel a year ago, what I had done over here. And so I ended up with 6 extra stitches into this heel, which I decreased down, and that's fine. The foot was the same size, but then you do some increases to account for that beautiful heel. And so I ended up with 6 extra stitches then, and I was halfway through before I realized that, and I was like, just let it go. And it fits fine. I don't notice the difference. Both of them go onto my feet wonderfully. There's no problem getting over my arches. They're plenty loose enough. Color work, I knit them on size 3s. And I double checked my notes. I was wrong. I said this was Miss Babs. It is not Miss Babs. It is Claudia Hand Paints, is that electric lime color. And then the green is a mixture of J-Knits and Fiber Nymph Dye Works. So you remember I was talking about how much would I have left. I finished this one, the J-Knits there, and switched to the Fiber Nymph, and I really don't think it makes a big difference. I also don't think the color work shows as beautifully on that as it does just flat. I love the heel, not the heel, the sole. I could knit a whole pair of socks that are just the sole pattern. I love that. I think it's so pretty. Anyways, so these are done. I've worn them. Now that you've seen them, because I wore them with the Progress Keeper on, and as I was walking around it would fling around a little bit, but it's fine. It's on like 5 stitches, so I wasn't worried about it snagging. Yeah, it's fine. So I can now wear these. The ends are all woven in, like they are for real dunsies. Woo! So excited, so excited. So again, this is the Luck Luck pattern, Luck-Luk socks by Megan Williams. And they're super fun. Super, 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 super. I'm just checking. No, the ends aren't woven in on these, so I can't start wearing them right away. But that's great. I could tell these are Patton's Croy, if you were wondering. I think that's like turquoise stripe. I don't remember when I knit them, but I know I did. So that was my FO of the week. So I have 3 projects on deadlines. I'm looking at this and remembering I don't have his buddy. I want his buddy. I have a half-finished object. So this is where I was, and I finished all the rest of that in one sitting. Here comes Mr. Tristan. He is homesick for the 3rd day. What's up? You don't want that? Okay. You want to grab your water while you're out here and bring it in there with you? You want to say hi to my knitting friends?
Hi. And my name is Tristan, and this is my mom.
Mm-hmm. All right, go close the door, messy face. Sadler Wells leg warmers that I'm knitting for my friend who's very short. I realized I didn't say why we measured her legs and made them. She's barely 5 feet. So these are supposed to be 11 inches. That's how long she wanted them. I made them 13. I didn't intend to, but the pattern is pretty, it's a lace row and then a rest row, and it's very simple to do. And I'm knitting them on size, I want to say 3s because everything is 3s these days, but maybe they're 5s. 5s, yeah, on 5s. And you could see that's where I am now with my little football progress keeper on it. So I finished the first one, and I had bought 2 balls of it, and I still have this much left. I haven't weighed it. I need to do that, and I need to weigh the other ones. All right, bring out the scale so I can enter my yardage. I'm trying to do better. Last year, I did not do a great job tracking my mileage. Well, yeah, yardage through the year. So at the end of the year, I had to hunt things down and weigh them. So I don't want that to happen this year. So this is Cascade 220 in, I'm not sure. It's in my project now. It's like a lichen colorway. That's what I want to call it. And then when I say lichen, I think of, what's that movie? Kate Beckinsale and that guy. Michael Sheen, maybe? Is it him? I don't know. But have you seen the previews on Amazon for the new David Tennant Devil and Angel movie? I think it's called The End of the World. Oh, I love it. I love it. Can't wait. My husband was like, oh, that looks cute. And I was like, I would watch it even if it didn't because it's David Tennant and I love him. So I don't care. He can get as old as he wants. He's still my doctor and he's still perfect. So, okay. Am I blushing? I know. I really love David Tennant. Let's take a break. Just a moment for David Tennant. Ah! I'm falling all to pieces, guys. That's maybe a total train wreck of an episode. Would you like to know what I'm wearing? Since I've shown you some of it. It is a hitchhiker. This is I believe this was the first one I knit. It's in Cloud Lover fibers. It's an 80/20. It's not the softest, and I believe this was for a Knit Girls knit along. Something about wine, or at least that's what it makes me think of. I tried to find the colorway name, and I couldn't find it within 2 clicks, so then I gave up. You know, I just called it purple on my project notes, but yeah, so this is the Hitchhiker Shawl by Martina Bem. Very satisfying to knit, and I did, let's see, I put it on so that you wouldn't see my sports bra, but I guess it's okay. So I did, right, this is the normal pattern that you knit with the teeth going up, and then I'm not sure how the pattern is written for the decreasing section, but I did my own way of adding more teeth onto it as it decreased down. So I have notes, I don't even know which one is which, but I have notes on my project page on how I did it, and a lot of people have found it helpful and followed it. So if you want to make a hitchhiker shawl but want it to be more symmetrical, I think my notes would help you with that. So there's that. And now to cover up that I am wearing a sports bra. They're just terribly comfortable compared to regular bras. So, okay, is it covered? Can you see anything? I think we're good, right? Okay. Let's talk about, let's get that out of my way. So, go with the Flo Shawl. The knit along is going strong. We've had some late starters. I love to see you there, Tish. And I'm not a late starter. I'm a really slow finisher. So yesterday, as I said, Tristan was homesick and we watched 2 movies and he laid on the couch and refused to sleep all day. He has croup. He had a cold, it turned into croup, and so he's home with me, and we watched Ralph Breaks the Internet. Okay, can I just say, I did not want to see that movie, right? I've seen Wreck-It Ralph, hair. I've seen Wreck-It Ralph, and I was like, okay, another one of these. But you guys, I'm a total princess girl, right? Disney princess. I'm not a princess, but I love the princesses. And I love the old ones, I love the new ones, everything. There is a good 10 minutes of that movie that has everybody. I'm such a squealing little child. Like, we've watched it twice now, and both times I'm like, yeah, whatever's going on. And then the princesses are on, and I'm glued to it with a giant stupid smile on my face because it's Ariel and Elsa and Moana and Brave Girl. I can't think of her name. And Jasmine. And it's so cute. So even though the movie overall, it's an interesting concept, the way they designed the internet and explained it. I kind of like that because there's no way I could conceptualize to explain it to the boys. Like it's like accounting. My head just doesn't think in those kind of concepts. So that was really cool about the movie. The plot was fine. I would give it a B, but then for the princess stuff, it gets an A. I loved it. So if you are someone like me who grew up and loved Ariel, she's got a pretty big part. She's in it. Belle's in it. Mulan is in it. Pocahontas is in it. Everybody's in it. Cinderella and the mice. It's just, so cute. So anyways, I thought we watched that and we watched the second Fantastic Beast. And I thought, that's like 5 hours of knitting, straight ahead knitting. Because I was like, I'm just going to take the day and sit with him and be quiet and keep him quiet. Because if I go off and work on anything, he'll be by my side wanting to do it. And he can't exert himself. I wanted him to lay down. So I still didn't finish. I thought I would. So this is the Go with the Flo shawl by Jennifer Lassonde of Downseller Studios. I did the DK weight version with Yowza, Miss Babs Yowza, and the color is Ocean Jasper, I believe. And I followed the instructions, but I still have a lot of yarn left. So I'm thinking I might make myself, I don't think this is enough for a hat, but it will definitely be enough for a headband, which I always have these dreams of having my headwear and my neckwear match. So I think that would be cute to make a little accent piece for up here. So there's that. Or I could do a hat and mix in another color. We'll think on that. But anyway, so the lace section, gosh, 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 love, love, love. And now I started the decreases. Here comes trouble. What's up, T? Oh, you're throwing, you want a container. Tristan likes to eat any snack in a plastic container or a bowl instead of in a bag. Yes, I'm feeding him cookies because he won't eat much while he's sick. So fine, cookies win. Can you get him? Or do you need help? Okay, don't forget to close the door, T. Okay, so there's my little rocket ship. That's where I was last week, starting section 3. And I did all that yesterday. I had done none because I was pushing on the Luck Lucks and the leg warmers to finish before winter's over. But then I remembered this has a March 15th deadline, and today is Wednesday, and I think the 15th is Friday. So I will definitely be done by there. I only have 2 boxes to go. No, not little boxes, but the big squares to go. So I should be able to finish that. And yeah, it's just so fun to knit. I love it. I've knit a few of her shawls, and this is by far my favorite. Yep, it's nice and big and cozy, and it's just scrumptious. So I can't wait to block it. I'm gonna get a little more into the length for it, but right now, so I'm 5'7", so that means my wingspan's 5'7". I learned that this week. It is that much past my wingspan. So it's probably 6 feet right now. I think I could, well, I am stretching it, so I could probably stretch it to like 6.5 feet, which would be great. So, yay! It's going along, and thank you so much, everyone, for knitting with me. The prize for this I will draw on the next episode because the knit along will be done. I'm not, if you're racing to get this done, I am not a real strict like close the thread. So the thread will be open probably a little bit past the 15th. I mean, everybody knits on Saturday and Sunday, so you probably need those days too. But I will draw a prize, which is a $20 gift certificate to the shop, which is the Adorn It Stitch Marker Progress Keeper shop that I run. And yeah, that'll be exciting. So I love to see what people get when they have like free range, pick anything you want. So I have one last knitting thing to show you, but I also want to do this week's update.
Here we go with some early spring stitch markers and progress keepers. First up, new Harry Potter, the Whomping Willow in bronze. We also have a spinning wheel and a yarn ball in bronze for you spinners. Who doesn't love a nice cup of tea or coffee? And here is the teapot in pink. I think it's adorable. Thinking of spring, we think of garden gnomes. And here is a set inspired by a little gnome and his house. Also, April showers bring Mayflowers, and the first Mayflowers are crocuses around here. The Doctor Who Van Gogh episode was one of my favorites, so here we have a set inspired by that with a sonic screwdriver. Steel Magnolias with Julia Roberts is a classic, and so here we have the pink with Pink Wedding and an armadillo, and lastly an update of The Little Mermaid. And don't forget, free shipping on orders over $40 and US orders over $15. Have a great day.
In my psychedelic Blinger string bag are my laser tag Desert Vista Dyework socks. How are yours going, Tiffany? I know we're just pulling off the needle. That's not a good thing, Stephanie. Pick them up, pick them up. Tiffany and I are twinsies, so doing the same skein. So that's exciting to have someone else's to look along, because I know most people, their vanilla socks are not 2x2 rib, but mine are. And I'm using zeros? Yes, single zeros, 2.0 millimeter needles. And I think I said last time I was trying to knit 7 stripes a day. That didn't go so well. And the first heel was a flop. I did it and I ended up with a color, like 3 stitches of black in the middle of my pink because of how I turned the heel, which I used the Wendy Johnson slip stitch heel pattern. That's my go-to heel. Because it gives you a heel flapping gusset, which I like that construction, and I'm trying really hard not to hiccup. Okay, yeah, so I did that. I did the first round of the heel I did while the boys were at that trampoline park. We've now gone 4 times, paid for it, done, and they love it. This last time, Roland saw one kid he knew. Tristan didn't, but they still had a blast. So I'm working my way up the leg. I know she says, because I like shorter socks generally. I should look. I know I read the requirements and it's like a 3-inch cuff. So let's see, how long is this cuff? 3.5 inches. So if I do what feels natural, it will be long enough. So, because that's the length I like my socks. I don't know why. I don't like real long legs. I say that, but the socks I'm wearing, I knit them. These were the partying up and getting down, and they're pretty substantial, but I really enjoyed knitting them, and they're straight stockinette. Well, I mean, there's a little patterning to get the V shape, but most of the stitches are stockinette, and so they went fairly simple. So I think for my next Desert Vista Dye Club Sock of the Month Club, I might knit another pair of these because I enjoy these, and I don't know if I've ever knit a straight stockinette pair of socks. I worry about not having enough negative ease, which is why I always do rib. But these are good. So maybe I'll knit another pair of those. But for now, it's like halfway through the month and I'm not done. So these are, I've had my deadlines like lined up, you know, the Luck so I could wear them, the leg warmers so she could wear them, the shawl for my own knit along, and then these for the end of the month. So I think I'll be okay. I typically like to have 2 socks going at the same time, like each foot, so I don't get, so I don't slow down, basically. Like, I don't know, there are parts of the sock that I really enjoy knitting, specifically the toe and the heel. The heel is my favorite part of knitting a sock. If I should really get one of those cranks, because then I would just do my 2 favorite parts. We'll think on that. I don't know if you could do rib though. But yeah, if I have 2 going at the same time, when I get bored with what's going on in one, I'll flip over to the other, and it's inevitably closer to a favorite part or finishing. Which finishing is always the carrot that gets you to go a little bit faster, at least for me. So there's that. Other thing, I can't remember if I shared this. I know I shared it on Instagram, but I don't think I did on the podcast. So I saw this little guy, and I thought he was adorable. And so I bought it. Amigurumi from Michael's. Now that I'm saying it, I'm thinking I already told you. Well, I went to their website because the ball band doesn't have the instructions for those adorable little elephants. So I went to their website, and I kind of fell down a rabbit hole, right? So they have a bazillion free patterns. And honestly, I would never think to check out Red Heart as a design place. Like, I'll look at Barocco or Noro, like, I don't know. I don't. I think of Red Heart as more like Afghans, like you're knitting Afghans. So I got the pattern for these guys. And then while I was there, I also saw this bag. This isn't a real great picture of it, but it's in color, so I'll show it to you. This, which I thought is so cute. It's a present tote bag, basically, and we carry our presents over to my parents' house and then come back with all kinds of presents. So I thought that would be a nice thing to have under the tree. And I have the leftover yarn from the boys' socks. So, and I have all those colors. So I thought it would be really cute. I also thought it would be super cute, felted. But the boys' sock yarn, stocking yarn is not feltable. But they also had this sweater that is basic, but it's kind of cool. Like, I always try and wear cardigans because they break up your body into sections and then you don't look like one blob of color like I do today. But yeah, that looked fun to me. So I did that, and I did, what else? There was another cute animal thing, but no, maybe I didn't print it. They have the Angry Birds, and they have a knit and crochet version of the Angry Birds, and I don't really like that. They also have this cute stand. These are all free for your phone, which I totally prop my phone up next to me and do whatever I'm doing. So usually it leans on the remote because the TV's in the room and I could turn it on, but I'd rather use my phone. Isn't that strange? I never would have thought that the world would evolve this way from, you know, me growing up. So that's it for knitting content. If you're done, bye. If you're still here and you want to hear a bit about what's going on with us, well, then let's chat. So we had a thing this week. We've had a thing for a couple of weeks. Roland is a sensitive boy, right? He's 7 and he's in 2nd grade, and there's one girl that's younger than him, but he's always the youngest in the group. And one of the other boys was having a Nerf gun birthday party. And so they were all excited. They've been talking about this for a month. And about the same time that this birthday party started to be spoken about, Roland had another round of his death anxiety. So last year, I don't know if I shared it with you guys, but he couldn't sleep. Like for a couple weeks, he had a real hard time, and we got a lot of storybooks on death. More rigid in my acceptance of sword fighting and guns and pretend killing, in that I do not allow it, but yet I allow them to play Star Wars, which has lightsabers and blasters. But I just feel like it's a little more removed from the blood and gore and death. But yeah, Nerf gun party. Not a fan. I was not a fan for a 7-year-old. And oh, by the way, the party gift was everybody brings home a Nerf gun. We don't have Nerf guns, and we have 2 children, and if one has something, the other one has to have it. So Steve did a great job discussing it with Roland, and they decided that the Nerf gun would stay in the trunk of the car, and when Tristan's old enough, i.e. when Tristan's 7, he will get a Nerf gun, and they will play with their Nerf guns together. I don't want any Nerf guns in my house, but hopefully he'll forget by then. Nerf gun birthday party. But he did have a great time, and the bullets didn't hurt, and hopefully it's passed. So there was that. I told you Tristan's been sick. I went to do the paperwork for kindergarten. I told you that. So tomorrow he goes for his interview. And yeah, you know how Steve has been going to New York and he got a promotion and yada, yada, yada. The department got laid off. They kept Steve. They've put Steve in 2 different jobs since the year since the department got laid off. And we've just been like, okay, let's just, you know, give all we've got and put it forward. And Steve's really, he's a high achiever. Like I would be happy to, here's my routine. Let me sit back on my heels and I will do what I'm tasked to do. Steve is like, let me figure out all the problems that exist and solve them. And he is constantly doing that. And so, sorry, I don't mean to talk too much about him, but I am so proud of him because, and myself, right? Because I was the supportive wife who said, yes, go to New York. I got it. Go to New York. I got it. Work late tonight? Okay, I got it. And maybe the boys watch more TV than I would have liked, but I got it, right? We got through it. And so it's reviews and bonus season, and he just got another promotion and a very lovely bonus that was much needed for us. So it just feels good. It feels like the company is recognizing his efforts and that he's doing well, because he was straight out of college. He went to work for Liberty Mutual. You've heard of them. He was on the fast track. He was a manager by 25. He had a department of 5, and he decided to go back to college, which was fine. While he was there, he got his first master's, and then he went back to school for 4 years trying to get a PhD, didn't get the PhD, left with a second master's, and meanwhile, our family went backwards for 4 years. So, you know, in your early 30s is when you should be, or late 20s, early 30s, you should be amassing and getting more wealth and moving forward. And so I feel like this last review is putting us back on the track we would have been on had he stayed there, because when he got out of graduate school, he had to start again from the bottom, and he had already worked his way up. And so yeah, we've spent a few years being just flat with what he was when he left to go to grad school. It is hard because my parents have excelled, right? They're more well off than their parents were. And Steve and I are both more educated, and we're struggling just to stay where we are. And there's a lot of me that wants to blame Steve for that, but also, like, the more I'm hearing in the news, the more I'm realizing it's also the economy. It's what's happened. It was a housing crash, killed us. We lost 60 grand in that. Like, So there's a lot of things that have caused us to be not where we want to be financially, but this is a great thing to push us forward. So, and he could never have done, like I've said, he couldn't have done this job while I worked full time, and he definitely couldn't have put forward the effort he's put forward with me working. So it's teamwork, and it's working. So yay! So that's our like happy bit of news right now. I think we've been on cloud 9 for about 5 days since we heard the news, just because it's great. So that's it. No, I'm not going out of my budget, in case you were wondering. I will stay on my budget. I was laughing with my mom. The grandparents' generation lived through the Depression, right? My grandparents' generation, well, they were little kids, right? My grandmother's born in 1930. Okay, my uncle's grandmother lived through the Depression, and we've always talked about how Graham, I mean, our family's close, how she behaves differently. Like, they've always had plenty of money, but she had it ingrained in her when she was young about being fiscally responsible and finding the sale and, you know, fix it, don't replace it. And so I feel like I went through something like a depression this last year and a half since I left my job, because living on one income is difficult when you were 50-50. And so I've, you know, I buy store brand, and I'm careful about for food, and I'm careful about the boys' clothes. And yeah, I'd like them to have 10 pairs of jeans, but 5 pairs are fine. And you know, I don't need $1,000 a month allowance for myself to buy clothes. Not a month, a year. That would be crazy if it were a month. But working in fashion, you have to keep your wardrobe changing. And yeah, so cutting these things back. And so now that we got a little breathing room, I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna stay right where I am, stay in my lane, keep it tight, and get us to a good place. So hopefully in a couple years, another year of this, we'll be able to do vacations and maybe do the addition I want on the back of the house. And I want Steve to get hair transplants. He doesn't really like that idea, but that's on my list, right? I'd like my diamond to be bigger, like all these things that I would like, because I grew up in a more spendy household that I've had to cut back and say, no, I can't do that. We're not that level of income. We're getting closer. So there's some bright sunshine, and he is excited to go to Rhinebeck again. And yeah, just, I don't know. It's good. It's good for me. So I hope I haven't turned you off with all of my self-talk. If I have, I apologize. It's just, I'm happy. And so you're my friends, and I just wanted to share what I'm happy about with you. So I think that's all I got for you today.
One more thing I forgot to share. I know I mentioned I was doing keto last time. Thank you so much for everyone who has reached out to me with encouragement and advice of websites to follow. It's been great. I wanted to share with you that I did find these on Amazon, fat snacks. They're amazing. Double chocolate chip cookies, which really taste more like a brownie to me. But going 2 weeks without chocolate was, it was the worst. That was the only thing I've really missed. Everything else I can go without. I'm fine with going without. I can see myself, so now I want to adjust my shawl. Yeah, so one night was having a really hard time. I wanted some chocolate, you know, and I just found those on Amazon. They are 85%. There's one little weird taste, but otherwise they're perfect, and it's fine. It will get me through. So far I'm down 13 pounds. And it's been, yeah, compared to a low-carb diet, I would say a low-carb diet would take me 110% of my effort to follow it and lose weight. And the keto diet takes about 50% of my effort, and it's falling off. So that's great. Burn that fat, baby. It seems like a long one. Yeah, so have another great 10 days or so until we speak again. Enjoy your knitting. Keep busy. Spring is coming. All right, take care. Love you. Bye.